Morning all, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe, hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday, June the 8th and we've got a pile of stuff to get through this morning. So let's start with US cases staying fairly flat over the past week or two. Florida cases you'll have seen have spiked recently, early June. There's a reason for that, and I've done some research over the weekend and you'll see what that means. I'm a little less worried now is the headline, so it's good. So hopefully you will be after this as well. Protests did continue over the weekend in Orlando, very peaceful, reported by the police. A big one on Saturday, not so big yesterday because of the rain. A tornado did touch down in Orlando and struck a path from closest to the airport right through over the 408 into downtown, near downtown Orlando. There was some damage. A lot of changes to Disney World's website over the weekend, so here are a few of the highlights. Only deluxe hotels look like they're going to be open from June the 22nd through to July the 11th. If you're booked into a moderate or a value hotel during that period, I would suggest you call Disney as soon as you can, see what they're going to do for you. You need to have a reservation for the hotel, for the resort, or a dining confirmation to be admitted to the hotel. Wellness checks will be carried out in the hotels, and you'll have to wear a face mask to and over in public areas in the hotels. Magical Express will run from Orlando International Airport from June the 22nd, and remember, they don't run at all from Sanford, never have done. Staying on site does not guarantee that you're going to get entry to the parks. This is a big one. Unlike Universal, where you do get guaranteed park entry, with a resort stay in Disney you do not, so that's huge. Feature pools will be open but with restricted hours. Fitness centres will be open 100% but with social distancing, and Stormalong Bay at the Yacht and Beach Club will not be open right now. Disney have strongly recommended that you do online check-in and check-out. They've got a video that shows exactly how to do that, and I've linked to that video at the end of this one. Room cleaning is going to be on every other day now. DVC has its own 4 and 8 day cleaning regime. A number of amenities and experience have been suspended during this early opening time, including Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and the Pirate Sail Away. The electrical parade has been postponed as well, and transportation will run between the resorts and Disney Springs in this opening period between June 22 and July the 10th. Disney is saying there may be delays in transportation because of social distancing. There'll be no minivans available right now, and there'll be no valet parking unless you have a disability and a blue badge. Finally, Tropical Storm Cristobal looks like it's left us finally, thank God, but we're still going to be into our daily thunderstorms, and if we've got some real ripping ones coming up, I'll take some footage on my phone. So that's the news headlines. There's lots of them. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell and hit all, and you'll get this stuff in your inbox 6 days a week currently, Monday through Saturday, with usually something else going on Sunday, like Miller's. I did a Miller's Ale House review yesterday. So let's get to the news. New cases yesterday in the US was 18,905, and that's the lowest since May the 11th. The average number of cases in the US has stayed steady for now about a week and a half. 1,180 new cases were recorded yesterday in Florida, which is still higher than we've been used to seeing lately. We saw 12 deaths yesterday, but we know that Sundays aren't the best for recording accurate stats. I now want to show you some recent stats from Florida regarding the number of tests that have been carried out and the number of positives that have come out of those tests. We've seen what could be considered to be a spike in the number of cases since early June, but if we have a look at the number of daily tests and the number of positives that have come out of those tests, that tells us more of a true story. Between the 25th of May and the 1st of June, we had 149,349 tests recorded, and of those, 5,296 were positive, which produces a 3.55% positive rate. From the 2nd of June to the 7th of June, we had 175,787 tests, of which 7,108 proved positive, or 4.04% positive. So that's an increase of 14% in early June, rather than the huge spike that it appears to be. Protests over the death of George Floyd continued over the weekend in Orlando. Police estimated that 10,000 people protested on Saturday. There were smaller numbers reported yesterday due to rain. The downtown Orlando curfew of 8 p.m. has now been lifted, so we're back to an Orange County-wide curfew of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. We had tornado warnings here in Orlando on Saturday evening, and a tornado was initiated in Lake Conway at around 7:20 Saturday evening. The tornado passed through several neighbourhoods before ending up just north of the 408, very close to downtown Orlando. Damage was recorded to houses and residents have been displaced as a result. Some news coming from Disney World over the weekend included the reopening of more deluxe resorts, which means it's likely that neither moderate nor value resorts will be open by the time the parks open on July the 11th. Remember that Disney has closed its reservation system for booking resorts at the moment. As part of its website update over the weekend, Disney also had a page called Top Things You Need to Know, and this is about staying at resorts. A confirmed room reservation is required for your stay, and if you're a day guest, a confirmed dining reservation is required. Face coverings are required for guests aged 2 and up in all public areas. Disney has issued guidelines on wellness screening and when guests shouldn't come to Disney. This includes people who are under quarantine orders, and that would suggest that people from New York, New Jersey and Connecticut can't yet travel to Walt Disney World. Disney's Magical Express will operate again from Orlando International Airport starting on June 22nd. Note that Magical Express does not run from Sanford. Fast passes will not be available for the moment, and there will be no extra magic hours. Disney has confirmed that guests staying at resort hotels will not have priority in park entry. A number of changes to resort amenities and recreation facilities were outlined by Disney also. This includes reduced hours for feature pools and reduced capacity in all pools. Stormalong Bay at the Yacht and Beach Club will not be operational during the early days. Fitness centres can open at 100% capacity throughout the state, but they must maintain social distancing guidelines. New merchandise product launches have been postponed for the time being, but pin trading will continue, albeit with social distancing in effect. Dressing rooms in stores have been closed off, as they have elsewhere in the state. Online check-in is available for guests staying at Disney resorts, and you can use your phone or Magic Band to get entry to your room. Disney have produced a video about this, and I've linked it at the end of this video. Automatic checkout is also available, so you don't need to go to the desk at all during your stay at a Disney resort. There's been quite a few changes to the way that Disney will clean its property, including increased cleaning in high traffic areas, the cleaning of high touch areas like TV remotes and handles within rooms, and steam cleaning of floors between guests. Glassware in rooms will be individually wrapped and pillows double cased. Light room cleaning will now be every other day, and that can also be declined. Other changes within resorts include club level services not being available currently, no in-room celebrations or dry cleaning and valet laundry services, and airline check-in may be unavailable. A number of amenities and experiences have also been suspended during the early days of reopening, including character experiences, the electrical water pageant, spas, salons and the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. In-room childcare services will also be unavailable. Between June 22nd and July the 10th, complimentary bus services will be available between resorts and Disney Springs. There may be delays due to social distancing on the buses. Minivans will not be operating during the early period, and valet parking will be unavailable except to guests with disabilities. Finally, the 10-day weather forecast for Orlando. Tropical storm Cristobal seems to have gone away now and stopped dumping rain on us, but we're still going to get our normal daily afternoon thunderstorms, it appears. Temperatures over the next 10 days are going to range from high 80s to low 90s. So I hope you got something out of the research that was done on the cases between sort of the late May period and the early June period. Hopefully you can see that, that 14% increase, okay, it's an increase, but it's not like double the number of cases just because double the number of people now getting sick. It's not that at all. So I'm going to keep monitoring that and see how that follows up with the full phase 2 opening having happened on Friday, see if that gets any worse. The protests in Orlando do seem to be very peaceful now. A big one on Saturday, but the police reporting 0 arrests is fantastic, and long may that continue. The tornado, yeah, so I did take some footage on my phone. We had some big thunderstorms here on Saturday evenings. Thank goodness we didn't get anywhere close to that tornado, and hopefully those poor people that were displaced will be able to get back to their homes very soon. lots and lots of changes to the Disney website, and it's kind of a case of now, all right, what do you get for staying on site? You're paying a pretty penny for being on site now, so what are you getting for that money? What is the Disney experience that you're getting, especially with no parks opening? It's not like if you're staying in the Grand Floridian or the Polynesian or the Contemporary, you just hop on a monorail and get to the park. No park. Face masks in lobbies, face masks in resort areas. Pools you won't have to wear face masks in, I think, although they haven't made that explicitly clear. But yeah, it's there's a lot kind of that you're not going to get that you would be used to getting. Even the pools have restricted hours. So yeah, I don't know, good luck if you're staying in a resort hotel. Good luck. Good news about Magical Express operating from the 22nd of June, so you don't have to make your own way down to the resorts. Don't forget, Sanford doesn't have Magical Express, never has. And staying on site does not guarantee you park entry. So not only have the amenities and the experiences been kind of curtailed largely, but you also don't get priority entry into the park. I am astonished at that. Universal you do, and Disney you don't. Quite why they're doing that, I have no clue. You would think that one of the things you'd get as a guest staying on resort is priority entry. Maybe they'll change that. Maybe there are just too many annual pass holders that are going to get upset. I just don't know why they've done it, but I'm sure we'll find out. Online check-in, check-out, that's been a thing now for a while. I don't know how many people have gone through that process and not gone to the desk at all, but that's what they're strongly recommending now. Lots of changes to in-room amenities and the way that they're going to be cleaned. That's probably good news. I doubt if there'll be any coffee makers in there either now. They didn't say that in the website, but in the hotel that we stayed in Coco Key when that reopened. Even that had coffee makers. They were taking out the rooms. So I doubt if there'll be any coffee makers in there. The transportation will run between the resorts and Disney Springs only between 22nd of June and the 10th of July. And even that you may experience some delays on. You would think that if the deluxe resorts are the only ones that are going to be open and there's no parks open, they could muster enough buses so that there weren't delays. They could just back buses up so that people could get on a bus and get to Disney Springs. You think that's the least they could do? And again, let's see what happens on June 22nd and see what those delays are going to be. Doesn't look great from Disney, I have to say, them even saying that. And then yeah, for the weather, we're into our normal summer weather now. We can expect usually bright mornings and then usually thunderstorms during the afternoon that last maybe an hour, maybe a couple. Some real good lightning storms coming up, I'm sure. This is normal, quite normal. And although we're into hurricane season, the early months of hurricane season now don't usually yield hurricanes. It's usually into the August, September, October period now. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I'm not expecting anything soon. As you can see, there are quite a lot of mozzies today. That rain seems to have brought them out. It's very humid. Not too warm, but quite humid. So yeah, lots of mozzies. Okay, that is the news for today. Stay safe, stay well. I'll see you again tomorrow probably. Until then, cheers. Bye-bye.